So we'll start from here just so you guys can see. The one thing I do want to note is if you pay attention to the character portraits on the save screen, they do shift as a result of chaos. So we've got this sort of bloodied eye, bruised cheeks, and a sort more of a lethal sort of look going on. And then the special actions we got is we robbed Galvani again and we stole some gold. It's great. So now we will have our version of the strange visit from the first game, which I think is done fantastically. In Dishonored 1, Corvo retires to his room, and you only really see the way up there, and you wake up, and you can try and sort of go beyond that and explore the rooftop, but it's closed off for some reason. There's bricks where there shouldn't be. And you go back as if to head downstairs, and the wall is just gone in one spot. That's how you enter the void. This is a different kind of void experience. The void itself gets a very
Am I still aboard Megan's ship?
It's beautiful.
It feels
has
odd.
A bit of influence of Delilah. For those of you who've played Bring More Witches, for those of you who have not played Bring More Witches, it basically, you play as the assassin who killed Jessine, whose name is Dowd, and you deal with Delilah in her attempts to basically possess Emily as a young child while the chaos of the rat plague is going on, when nobody who knows her well, at this point Corvo is still imprisoned, would be able to notice a difference in her behavior. And at the end of it, in Low Chaos, which is what canonically happens because she's in this game, Dowd swaps out the painting she's using to possess Emily with the painting of the void and traps her there. So the void has some influences of this time in it. The door is blocked. You cannot open it unless you try.
What is this place? Where am I?
So the floating rocks you can see. I like the flags. We will head over there into that tree. You can sort of see.
I can feel something moving closer. Watching.
The whale will show up, but this is a darker void than the first one. There's also a light that cannot
Empress Emily Caldwin. I'm a friend of your father's from the bad old days. I never expected us to meet. I watched your mother die at the hands of schemers who wanted your little empire. Then you were rescued by a killer in a strange mask. I thought that was the end of the excitement. But Delilah and the Duke are flies in the ointment, aren't they? How many of your own subjects are you ready to slaughter? And what are you willing to become? 15 years ago, I asked Corvo that last question. This is the moment that changed him. Now it's your turn, Emily.
As I noted in the other playthrough, you can outright reject the mark, which is how you get the achievement for Flesh and Steel. I think it's just called Flesh and Steel instead of mostly Flesh and Steel now, because you can outright refuse all powers instead of everything after Blink. But in doing so, you still get the heart because of plot armor reasons. One other thing is he has a line that Corvo gets in High Chaos, but Emily doesn't, but still applies to her, where he asks if he missed it, the year that made him who he was, in reference to the rat plague, and I think that sort of is a solid basis for Dishonored 2's Emily, is taking the idea of that year as that what shaped her perspective, and how she reacts to this one.
It burns from the inside. I feel like I'm standing at the edge of something.
It's interesting that Emily is the only one.
All the stories, they're true.
Yeah, those stories are true, girl. You can add those things.
Incredible.
That we know of, besides perhaps Vera Moray. Actually, no, Vera Moray was aristocratic, but she's the only person in power Vera Moray.
This is how I'm going to save my father and reclaim the throne.
I think there's a note for the heart. I think we went through all of Hart's lines in the middle of the first game. Fuck is that light? There is no light in the void, and definitely outside there it is. There is no light in this person, so it's extinguished. There's no in the first game. The sort of luminous texture background to the void seemed to sort of radiate there. That's strange. That's the whole change. There's our dad. With no wiggly bits this time, just sort of just there's a line three empresses having visited this place. One being Jessica, Juliet, and the lady I think it might be where I don't know if she's going to this place. This is extraordinary no flies this time. Or Bruce. I didn't really care. Yes. This is just so.
What is that? It feels familiar.
The heart in the first game did not have a
I know you. Do you remember? It's been so long, and you've been through so much. Even as an echo of myself, it's good to know you're there.
Mother? You're here, but you're not here. In my hand, but somewhere else.
Only the last of my essence, with you for a while. If only I could reach across this great expanse and take you into my arms. But I have this to offer. My gift and my curse. Summon me to your hand, and I will guide you when I can.
Here's the cage of flesh and steel that contains the words of Jessica. Will tell you about the instance
There are no stars in the sky here.
This
There
is
is no sky.
Who is Delilah really? How could she? I don't understand.
The bad guys. You got Delilah, looking slightly refined. She's got the words and sense. Alice or Thomas, or second to last. Anyone who's played Grimoire Witches, this is not necessarily a spoiler because she is familiar from there. This is Brianna Ashford, a former aristocratic woman who then abandoned her family to run off with Delilah's coven and serves as her sidekick. And she too is a witch, you can tell, from sort of flowers outfit. This man, we will encounter shortly. You'll see his fancy prosthesis, his prosthetic fingers. His name is Kieran Jindosh. He is the Sokolov, the anti-Sokolov of this game. Our other scientists, it's from Sokolov and Kieran in the first game. Now Kieran is gone. We have Jindosh. He is wild. And then this is, as you might guess, the Crown Killer. You can tell a couple of different things with this. So for one, she is fairly heavily made up, with lipstick and eyeshadow, which indicates that she's a woman, despite what that woman has had to say. She's reaching for something.
Delilah slit a man's throat for a pair of shoes and painted some of the most brilliant portraits of the age, all in the same year. Survival and ambition, art and magic, with a cunning that makes sycophants of those around her. All of it leading to what you saw at Dunwall Tower. Delilah's playing the long game, and now she's an empress. But I'll let you in on a secret. She's got her eyes set on a much greater prize.
Three guesses as to what that is. Are we going to ascend to godhood, perhaps? Why, I do believe you're probably right. That's what pretty much everyone thought, and sort of is true.
When I was 10 years old, bored with my lessons, I dreamed about sword fighting and sailing the ocean. Now I'm realizing that the world is more off-kilter than I imagined.
This is what I wanted to see in
Everything has been turned inside out. But I'm not gonna stop fighting until it makes sense again. Karnaca's the southernmost port in the Empire.
Sorry, I'm
Once
interrupting.
proud, but fallen into
The notion
disarray.
of fighting until the world makes sense again makes a lot of sense for Hypatia, Emily.
Under the new Duke, the Grand Serkonan Guard has gotten increasingly oppressive. Beatings and firing squads. The bloodflies are said to be worse than ever. This is the birthplace of my father. Megan Foster keeps to herself, like she's hiding something. But she helped me escape Dunwall, and for now, I need a place to stay out of sight. Delilah and the Duke made me look like a murderer, using the Crown Killer to butcher my political adversaries. They took what was mine, and I'm gonna get it back, even if I have to burn this city to the ground.
I mean... So, this is our now Void Favor and Duelist's Luck. Yeah, I just want to equip them, please. I want to equip them. Thank you. Okay, we don't need both of them. We only really need Void Favor. Void Favor gives us extra powers. We are not even going to bother equipping the other one, because all it does is give us extra bullets that we're not going to use. This is a very brief codex that is only basically a brief introduction to Megan Foster, a little bit of personality. He tried to hit on her. He lived, which is impressive. Default souvenir. That's our first one. This is where we'll store them all. A letter we've written to Wyman about the coup, which again led me to believe that Wyman was going to betray us. It does not happen. In our travel log, which we can sort of see her reactions. The first chunk is the same one, based on chaos. It's pretty much Emily just talking. The anniversary of the death, the emphasis of feeling caged. And then this is where stuff switches. So we have titled Aptly Dishonored. The whole spiel on witchcraft just doesn't make any sense to me. And then basically ignoring whether or not what Delilah says is true and focusing more on the actions. And the disloyalty, she doesn't trust Megan Foster in this. I'm going to try and avoid spoiling Megan Foster's identity. But if you're curious and you want the low chaos one, you can pretty much use the heart to puzzle it out within half a second if the visual does not give it away. But yes, and then sort of the emphasis on but I was never really safe. I never really will be. The sooner I get that through my skull, the better, is sort of the high chaos Emily mantra. And now Emily is in the void. In the first game, canonically, she has dreams of the outsider. There's mention of a man watching her with black eyes. She talks in her sleep about it, which they sort of dropped. And then, not concerned about the cost of the gift, the sort of strangeness of the heart, and then the notion of being an outsider, but also somebody who is part of the city in a strange way. Her father was born here, these are her subjects, but also she could have easily grown up here. And we're gonna go after Delilah. So we're gonna explore the ship and the area around it, get some powers, and then we're gonna go talk to, oh yes, our crossbow. Sokolov made us a crossbow because he knows we were trained in it during the rat plague. Introduction to rockets. And then this is a note about fixing the door over here. We're about to do that right now. But before we do that, let's go up to Megan Foster's cabin number 1. I say number 1 because she has a second one that you can only get into the end of the game. We will have to deal with her before we go there. We're gonna probably save and do a couple of different things when that time comes, but so this is her other cabin.
Dunwall seems so far away.
She has a nice
I'll come back soon, Father. I promise.
Her accounting. She doesn't have too much about her here, but she is sort of, you know, standard stuff. The ship is itself quite beautiful. It's sort of, there's no fighting on it, unlike Brickmore. I wondered for a little bit if it was the same ship as Brickmore, but I don't think so because that would make sense. But yeah, so if you come here, your reward is you get extra copper wire, Addermire solution, which is basically a mana potion, and then another chunk of Sokolov's voyage to the Pandician continent, and like it's not even remotely useful to story. That open, bam, we unlock the door. Okay, so if you go in there, look at the spiel. This is the bathroom, very exciting.
What would we have done?
This is the basement, very exciting. Here's what, there is no sign of Sokolov. Something has happened to him. We're gonna go. That's like our first couple goals.
Good news probably not back from Dunwall yet.
Sokolov.
If we're lucky, the Howlers will be distracted by some score they're working.
We'll talk to you in a hot second. One thing.
You're up. When you're ready to talk, I'll tell you what I know.
In Death of the Outsider, you can rock Galvani again. That bird was pretty much the only thing he has. So I don't know whether it was his counterfeit stolen a while ago or what that is, but it's a long ride. Okay, so this is Sokolov's chambers. We are not gonna kill those this time because I like the chaos of them escaping on their own. But yeah, so he's been studying bloodflies. This is information for the game. TLDR, if you scatter the swarm, they're harmless. It's only the swarms that are dangerous. Stealthing is important. If you break the nest, then the swarm will disperse and they are susceptible to fire. Also, they lay eggs in their corpses, which hatch very quickly, so killing people is bad around bloodflies, unless you deal with the flies first. Yeah. And then more chaos means more flies, much like the rats in the first game. And this is more of Sokolov. And this is,
Dearest Emily, or must I say, your Imperial Majesty, I have something that you and Corvo must hear at the first opportunity.
I'll always miss my lessons with Anton Sokolov. He made so many clever devices during my mother's time.
When I left Bristol years ago, I swore I'd never again take part in any further political matters. I've done my share of bad things, and some good, before and after the Rat Plague. But here in Karnaca, I've uncovered a terrible conspiracy against you. Here, at the bottom of the Empire, the cobblestones smell of death and corruption. I'm staying with an associate, Megan Foster, aboard her vessel, the Dreadful Whale. We'll leave for Dunwall in the morning, as soon as the tides are willing. I keep thinking of the way sweet Jessamine was stolen. and your father, and I fear it might be your turn to face such turmoil. I know Corvo would protect you with his life, but please do not trust anyone.
There you are, old man. I was asked to pay you a visit.
Wait, what's wrong with you? Megan!
Off we go, Sokolov, to somewhere more private.
Two things. One, you have confirmation again that this is probably a woman based on the local knowns. Second of all, his immediate response is not, who are you? But, what's wrong with you? Implying that he perhaps recognizes this figure, which is useful. Okay, so, sorry.
We've been en route for 2 weeks. I hope Sokolov is alright,
That's her secret room.
wherever he is.
This is the Shindere gift, which is about whale oil, and Shindere is actually the mountains that the cleft in the Shindere peak basically provides the wind that powers Karnaca. That same cleft, there are mines there, which are sort of one of the major subjects of Death of the Outsider, which is very cool. I was hoping that was out of excitement. I don't think there's anything else in here. I mean, you can break all of them. Okay, we'll talk to her in a second.
Karnaca looks pretty from a
Gotta look at
distance,
some stuff
but it's a
first.
city on the way down.
So
And the
basically,
blood flies are bad this
people you
year.
deal with will pop up, and then she will basically add people after you have your, powwows for the next mission. So this is
Mortimer Ramsey. The Duke couldn't have pulled off the coup without someone inside the City Watch. I don't know Duke Luca Abel, but Corvo served under Luca's father, and said Theodanis was a good man. Delilah. My aunt, if that's really true. She has a twisted way of looking at the world.
all of those are non-chaos. It's the portrait that Sokolov's painted.
Why is this here? It's Delilah.
Anton started it just before he was taken. They've got history, but he wouldn't say more.
So do you. Okay.
Sokolov seems so much older now. So the Crown Killer was a tool of the Duke's coup. The murders had a calculated effect.
And of course,
It looks like the overland route to the Addermire Institute goes through the carriage station.
basically we are around these docks. We gotta make it through to the carriage station for Addermire, take it to Addermire, because she's about to tell us that that's where the Crown Killer ended up going. But first, plans involve throwing ourselves into the sea. Okay. We're gonna spec powers. So for the beginning of the game, I think dark vision is useful. We're gonna get dark vision. Probably gonna use more mesmerize than I did before. Doppelganger we're getting later. Oh, we need 4 for Domino. Never mind. We're getting Domino first because did not utilize that as much as I wanted to. It really useful to avoid chaos. If you're trying to do stealth mission, I guess. Okay, so we're gonna do the green, and then we're probably gonna cut it there because time and sort of
All right, you've explained part of it. But what were you and Sokolov doing here?
The old man loved Karnaca, but he'd caught wind of a conspiracy tied to the Crown Killer. He wanted to warn Corvo.
There were reports about tensions rising, corruption, street violence. I didn't give it much mind. Usually the local authorities resolve that sort of thing.
The new Duke has let things slide. But Sokolov concluded he might be the head of the conspiracy. He came in looking shocked, and if you've heard his after-dinner stories, you know that's unusual. We were going to set out for Dunwall, but something happened.
The Crown Killer.
Yes, the hatch ripped open and Sokolov screamed. All I caught was a glimpse of someone carrying him across the deck. I followed as long as I could, toward Addermire Institute. It's run by the alchemist Hypatia. Maybe the Duke is using a patient of hers, the Crown Killer.
Addermire. All right. I'll get inside. The Crown Killer has to be eliminated, and if the alchemist will cooperate, maybe I can learn something about what happened to Sokolov. Wish me luck.
If you need my luck, Sokolov's as good as dead. When you get done at the Institute, disable the watchtower. Once it's down, I'll bring the boat around. We'll take the skiff to the shore when you're ready.
I can see why you like her. She's almost as secretive as you.
We'll leave it at that. But yes, this newspaper.
This Dr. Hypatia. She seems to represent the good that's possible within the Empire.
Yes, so we got a 3-fold target for this mission. Hypatia, Crown Killer, so we'll see how many of those we fulfill. And this is the same fucking newspaper from the beginning. But yes, so now that we have it, we are prepared for ourselves some sword, crossbow, heart, also, so definitely outsider and I having you guys screen. Yeah, so here is the Addermire Institute. That's in there. You can sort of see that dock down there. That's really good. You can sort of trace that.
The jewel of the South. My father's birthplace.
There's a carriage station over there. That docks right here. You see. That's where they go. So that's the giant craft. That's also the giant Oh, very far. So that is the biggest Witness's Palace. So we got it. But next time we will probably do part 1 of 2 of the district around Addermire making our way through to the city. And that'll probably take us 2 parts, and then Addermire itself may also take 2 parts, depending on just how long everything ends up taking. Although Addermire is a lot faster in high chaos. But we will start to see some variations in the level itself. As also some of our actions. Even though we haven't really been Karnaca itself yet, our actions have been reflective of incidents